there and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Angie and I'm a chemist who loves makeup. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 dumbest purchases, beauty related, makeup related, of my 20s. Still have a little less than 2 years to go, but so far these are the worst beauty purchases that I have made in this decade of my life. So I will also throw out what I would do differently or what other product I would buy instead of these products. So my very first one is contour palettes. So contour palettes, I remember, were super big. The one that I happened to purchase was the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. And this is what I have left of it so far. You could see, obviously, these shades have gotten some pretty good use. This one, almost nothing. This one, I think I had to use as an eyeshadow. So this is where my problem lies with contour palettes, is because most likely someone's not going to be able to use all of the shades unless, you know, you can really make it work. So I could use the darkest highlight shade as a transition shade for my eyeshadow, or the darkest shade as a, you know, for my eyebrows. But I feel like if you are really into makeup, you're probably already gonna have those products. So realistically, I'm just kind of trying to force myself to use something that I didn't really need in the first place. And if you have darker skin, you probably can't even use those lighter shades for anything because they are probably too light for the most part. So instead of buying a contour palette, I would buy a banana powder. For instance, I really like the NYX banana powder. I will link that down below. And it is pretty affordable. For contour shades, I would buy an individual contour shade. Obviously, I'm waiting for the Makeup Geek rebrand, and I will hopefully try that one out because I will not be buying another palette. So my second dumbest beauty purchase of my 20s is buying way too many shades of a lip product from a lip line. The instance that comes to mind is when I was first starting to try to make videos. This was the first video I was going to try to make, and I ended up just dumping it until I refilmed it later, was the CoverGirl Katy Perry collaboration lipsticks. I bought all sorts of colors I would never wear, like bright red lipstick, a black lipstick, and I think these things were like $6, $7 a piece, and I had to buy like 5 or 6 of them. So you have to think that adds up. For that one price, I could have bought a single Marc Jacobs lipstick, but I don't even use these now. And I think at the time I thought I had to buy so many because I would see these people with PR packages and I wasn't even really aware of how that worked back in the day. Trying all of these products, and so I thought that's what I had to do, or nobody would care about me trying a lipstick. I thought I can't just try one lipstick, but now they're just sitting in my lipstick graveyard just wasting money, and I could have gotten one more expensive product that I would use all the time. And I think that also happened with a lot of NYX lipstick products too, like the lip lingeries I did the same thing with. So now what I do instead is I would buy a mini set, probably from Sephora or whatever, that costs you like $25 or whatever, bunch of mini lipsticks. I'll use them all because I never go through a tube of lipstick anyway. So now I'll just buy a mini set and get like 5 different types of lip products. So if I want to try those really random colors, I can try them, but I'm not spending a lot of money. So my third dumbest purchase of my 20s is keeping beauty subscription boxes for way too long. Particularly, I at one point had the Sephora Play and the Ipsy at the same time, and they're each $10 a month, so that was costing me $20 a month. So the problem with this is, at first these bags were really great, especially if you're a beginner. I got to try a whole lot of different products, so I'm not spending a ton of money, but I get to try a lot of products. But after some point, I would either start to get repeats, especially with the Sephora Play box. I got a lot of repeats. Or I would have so many of a type of product. I would get a ton of blushes. I would have 5 black eyeliners that I couldn't possibly get through by the time I would get another black eyeliner. So at that point, I have like a makeup sample graveyard where a bunch of these samples are sitting. So at that point, I just decided to cancel them. So what I would have done instead is I would only keep these for maybe about 6 months. If you're someone who's really wanting to get more into cosmetics, makeup, skincare, I think these are really good, so you can try a lot of products, but after a while you are going to get repeats. So I think these are good as long as you remember to cancel it after a certain amount of time, because for me, it just wasn't worth it to continue to pay $20, $10 a month for something I'm not using. At the end of the year, it's gonna add up to $200, and I let it go on way longer than it should have. So my fourth dumbest beauty purchase of my 20s And kind of the whole reason why I decided to make this video is expensive makeup brushes. The one that comes to mind is this Marc Jacob brush. It's the Face Sculpting Brush number 2, and it retails for $48. So I bought this thinking that it was gonna make my foundation look amazing. And I think even at the time I was still using powder foundation. I don't even think I used the liquid foundation yet. But the reason why I brought it is because Marc Jacobs to me was like the pinnacle of luxury. I have a Marc by Marc Jacobs purse and wallet that I still have like for over 6 years that I love, and I got at Nordstrom Rack. And so I thought that this brush was, because it was more expensive, and at the time I thought more expensive is gonna be better. This was before I really got into makeup and skincare and all that fun stuff. And I just thought that this is what I needed to make my foundation looks good. And now here we are, and I don't even use this brush. It sits in a corner somewhere because I can't bear to part with it because I paid $48 for it. And now I don't even use a makeup brush for my foundation. I use a sponge. And it does feel super luxurious. It feels very nice, like it's very heavy. The bristles are soft, but that's about the end of how functional it actually has been for me. So then when I started, getting into YouTube, I found out you don't need expensive brushes. Obviously the one that comes to mind is Morphe, and I do have Morphe brushes. I do really like them, but if you don't really want to support Morphe, I do really love Luxie brushes. I really love their eye brushes in particular. And Royal Langnickel, their Moda brushes have really good face brushes. I use it for contour, highlight, really love those brushes too. And they're all inexpensive, and you can buy a lot of the brushes and not break the bank. And my fifth and last makeup beauty dumbest purchase of my 20s is buying influencer collabs for the sake of, solely for the purpose of supporting said influencer. So what I mean is about buying something I most likely will never be able to use up or get full use out of, and I only bought because I wanted to support the influencer. And these are products that I should have known initially that I wouldn't get full use out of. So I should have known better. And of course I want to support the people that I love watching, but at the end of the day, me spending extra money that I could have used for something else to support these big influencers who are already they're living fine. They don't need my 20 bucks for me to just buy a product that I wasn't gonna get use out of. So my first example is Jaclyn Hill and all of her Champagne Pop iterations. So I started watching her shortly after she came out with the Champagne Pop collaboration with Becca, the original collaboration, just the regular pan. And so I bought that and I used it, and that was great. And then she came out with this holiday collection. This is what I have left from the holiday collection. This is what it looks like. So as you can see, I really love Champagne Pop, and I have not even used these two enough to hit pan, get close to hitting pan. So I basically ended up buying this collaboration to only use one shade. And I could of course use the other ones, mix them together, but that kind of goes back to the whole contour palette thing. I have a big enough collection now where I don't find it worth it to have to reach for things and make it work, whereas I have products that I already like, if that makes sense. And then we had the third holiday collection, which I also bought. And where we're at with this is I barely hit pan on this, and then this one I've actually used a bit, but these blushes I have not touched at all. So I spent a lot of money to use one highlight shade, which I could have bought in a pan. If you're someone who just loves collecting makeup, I understand just to have it, but I really like to use up everything I have. So for me, it wasn't really worth it. If it would have been more worth it for me, if I did want to support her, if I did want to buy her collabs, it would have been more worth it for me to just keep buying individual Champagne Pops from Becca and doing it that way. So my next example is Kathleen Light's collab. So Kathleen Light loves to collab with ColourPop, for instance. She collabed with Ofra, which I did buy and I like, but she loves to do collabs with ColourPop. And at first, when she was first coming out with a lot of the initial ones she came out with, I was buying every single one. I would buy all the lip products, all of the individual Super Shock shadows, and I wouldn't use all of them. And ColourPop's cosmetics don't really have a long shelf life. You can definitely start to tell when they're getting a little old. So I bought all these shades, even shades that I wouldn't, and I bought so many that there's no way I could use them all. And this also goes back to where I bought like the lipsticks. They're inexpensive, so that's great, but I bought so many and I didn't use it that it still ended up being a waste of money. So now I kind of hold off and wait for something that I would really, really want, like the So Jaded palette I bought, and I do like that palette. Her Lights Lacquer brand, her own brand, because she makes amazing nail polishes. So that's what I kind of learned, is I have to just buy something for the sake of I want it and I want the product, not just to support the influencer. And my last example of buying collabs for the sake of just buying a collab is the original Desi X Katie collection with Dose of Colors. So in this instance, I ended up buying every single product from that collection because I love Desi and Katie. So they had shades that were more intended for people with lighter skin tones, and then people were intended for darker skin tones. Why did I buy the darker skin tones? Couldn't tell you. And I ended up doing a giveaway with them. It didn't even really benefit my channel at all to do this giveaway. So I just spent a lot of money to just, send the product off without really return on my investment, if I would say. And then the other two products I don't wear is the tube lipstick that they have. It just doesn't work on my skin tone. It doesn't look good. I can make it work, but again, I don't like to try to force things to work and make them work. I have enough products that I could just use that work without me having to do a lot of extra effort. And a lip gloss, and I don't really wear a lip gloss. So out of the 7 products that I purchased, I used the lighter highlighter and the 2 liquid lipsticks. So 3 out of the 7 products are all I used, but I spent all that money on the full collection. So now that's why I'll buy 1 item, 2 items of a collection. I don't feel like I need to get the whole collection anymore, even for the purpose of reviewing on my channel. So I hope you enjoyed me going through my worst beauty purchases of my 20s and kind of how I changed my purchasing decisions based on these past mistakes that I've made. And if you like this video, don't forget to click the like button and make sure to click the subscribe button if you want to get notified when I upload new videos. And let me know down below what your worst beauty purchases have been so I can feel a little bit better about myself. And with that, I will see you in my next video.